Well, happy brunch, everyone, and a happy brunch it is. I'm beginning to think that there is magic and power in being a person who is as annoying as I am. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the show. We're making progress. We are making progress in the world. The world is evolving. I'm going to just find the stream here and then there I am. Let me give a hello and a shout out. We'll go ahead. We'll do the empath prayer. We'll talk. Our kibbutz. Kibbutz comes from the Hebrew word communicate and also community, which is why the word kibbutz in Yiddish, hey, let's get together, let's hang, let's kibbutz, sounds similar to the word kibbutz. Yeah, see where we're going with this? It's all about community, right? We're all about, I better get a tissue. Because I covered this, so I'm trying to not have too many allergic reactions today. How is everyone? Good? Everybody having a good weekend so far? Hi, Deborah Murphy. Hello. 46 degrees in Kansas. My. You know, it's very wet and cold. I was going to get together with K Travel to row, but I'm going to have to get a tissue. I'm sorry. I just came out of a shower. Excuse me. Well, thank you. Hello, Donald Lambert. Hello, K Travel. Isn't the background pretty? Isn't it cute? Cheers. L'chaim, everyone. Well, Melody Harmon is in the house, so we can get things cracking. Thanks for your help today. And Dylan, welcome. Betty J. Weathers, hello. It'll clear in a sec. I just literally got out of the shower. Hi, Joel Tilson. Thank you for your help. Joel is the floor director, and he's going to be helping today. What is it? 34 in Cheyenne? Oh, my. Here, Amelia, you want to look outside? It is so dark. Oh, my God. Let me take a sip of coffee. Cheers. Coffee, green juice with mango orange, flax, ORAC protein and greens. And then I did, excuse me, orange juice mango. Go. And oh my gosh, Mila, you look so funny back there. Coffee. Well, as many of you know, a couple weeks ago, we sent, excuse me, the Israeli War Cabinet, the PDF on research studies on safe zones, envy, etc. Looks like they got it, and they're going to be adopting parts of it. Elon Musk has pledged money Give it up to yourselves. Feels good, huh? So I believe in the power of the individual. I don't go through, you could wait in line and go through conventional means. You could just write them a letter. So that's what I did. I just wrote Elton John. I just wrote, I knew the project was right for Elton John because I knew how many people had died in Gaza City, right? On both sides, LGBTQ. And I knew that they were going to do a fundraiser. So it's not that they wouldn't have figured it all out by themselves. It's just that maybe I got impatient. So took all the data which they had, and we're going to do anyway, probably. I just shrunk it for them. So I did. We all got to be a little part of a big problem. Oh, I love you. Are you shedding again? They were experimenting with similar ideas, and multiple people, came up with multiple ideas. And I looked at several studies. And then I just put it in 2.5 pages for the war cabinet. Yeah. They probably had like 5,000 pages. Nobody has time to go through 5,000 pages. I said, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to take all those studies, which is causing your heads to explode, and I'm just going to put it in 2.5 pages. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, the charity this week. It's up to you guys. What would you like the charity to be? Yes, I can make a charity. I forgot, but I happily do it once my throat clears. You guys want to do, how about, let's do something you want to do. I feel like I should go make another tea because I'm reacting to something. Sure. Let's see. You guys want to give to the worldwater.org or World Central Kitchen? We're allowed to go back. We got the okay to help Gaza again. I guess Hamas was stealing food. Pretty horrible, I know. And but it's okay now if you guys want to help Gaza. They're getting everything now, and the border is open again. So why don't we go ahead and help Gaza and get some food in there? Sound good? So if you'd like to contribute, you can go ahead and make a donation. Let me see. Okay. All right. So we're doing Gaza, World Kitchen. Okay. They just asked us to pause it for a couple weeks because I guess there was some theft and stuff. But then we got the okay. So now it's going to the people again. Okay, let's do the Empath's prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. How was everybody's week? Yeah, it's World Central Kitchen. It says Gaza, but it all goes to the Central Kitchen. And they go wherever there's an emergency. And the food is usually vegan, I think. They usually make sure that people can eat it. Like if it's meat, it's going to be halal or kosher or whatever if the persons are. But I think they serve a lot of just vegan stuff, like beans and rice and so good mama's cooking, from what I understand. It's good stuff. It's good eatings, from what I understand. So that's the charity. Any other announcements or any other remotes? No, it was just kind of cool that we were getting the feed about the Oasis, and we had kept talking about the Oasis, and I started doing research on they're doing experimental communities already in Israel. And then I guess I just felt so powerless. I thought, gee, I don't know if anyone has bothered. There's a lot of good people in Israel, but I don't think anyone has ever bothered to actually, y'all know you're saying the same thing. You just need to put it in like 2.5 pages. Like the Torah is saying the same thing. The research data is the same. The sociologist, it's just y'all need to get a little organized. So maybe someone else had done that too, but it was just kind of neat that we all got to be a part of it. So yeah. Yeah, midnight at the Oasis, right? Like that was the vision, and that's in fact what's happening. And then when you're thinking about the Oasis and what they're building in the rebuild, I mean, these are going to be safe zones. And when they mean safe, they mean safe. They mean safe to come out LGBTQ, safe to live in a free democracy, so that the people that go to the Oasis, they're free to play your music, free to read whatever books you like. That's the Oasis, so that people didn't have that for 14 years under Hamas. So it's just so right that it be Elton John. Wouldn't you love to see him like leaping from one of those things, but in a good way, like coming down like with a cape or something, like I have achieved this, we have achieved this is freedom. Yeah, so then he can retire, though something tells me after that concert he won't be able to retire. I don't know, what do you folks think? Did anybody see the sorrowful George Santos as he was ushered away from Congress? Did anyone play the world's smallest violin? That's the first question. The second question, of course, no tears. But I still have not learned. Mila, don't even think about touching she's been playing, she's destroying my bow. Hold on. Gotta protect. But I have to learn it. Like you can do it in A. We were like, my teacher and I were like debating how sorrowful, like if you do it in a G. We worked it out. You could do it like really low, or you could do it higher. We gotta. Um, but yeah, Georgie Porgy, poor Georgie Porgy. Oh my lord. Maybe we will do some blitzes. I don't know. Maybe we'll do, but that's basically what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's toast. I'm thinking, based on the remotes that I saw, it's likely that he's gonna have to make a deal. It's interesting when you look at those old remotes on George Santos. It basically says that he's going to have to get some kind of court-appointed psych eval done, and if he does that and is able to prove that he's basically crazy, he might be able to get off. So it's kind of like when you reach the end of your ropes, which he appears to have done, like he appears to have reached. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's there. When you get to that point, he really doesn't have a choice. Would you agree? Oh, right. I can breathe again. Sorry for that. Oh, you're in. Oh, Elizabeth, how you loving Israel? Well, good for you, Elizabeth. I will. Are you volunteering or working? I will be relieving you, brothers and sisters of Israel. Yeah, isn't it great how everything is like coming? Hopefully, there's a lot of jealous, angry people, but we got to like neutralize the envy. Like it's the spiritual lesson I just wanted to give people today in the remote view before we do the community reading is that so much of strife in a family is jealousy, and it's one sibling feeling that you got something that they didn't. It's like Harry and William, right? William hates his brother because he sees his brother being able to go to the North Pole. But then he didn't just go to the North Pole. He went and he came around and then he went to the South Pole. He did both. And meanwhile, William was stuck having to be the heir, right? And so he saw his brother. So it was like Jacob and Esau from the Torah, right? One had the birthright, but he wasn't necessarily happy in that particular case. And the other was seen to be gallivanting around, having a love affair. It's like, I got a hot actress girlfriend and I'm off. So again, it's just another example of how jealousy rears its ugly head and brings out the rage. And so if those two individuals were to understand that it comes from a place of envy and jealousy and were to just dissect it, the war between them would come to an end. And that's actually what we see over and over and over again in the Bible. Every single solitary war is because somebody thinks that something was taken from them: land, a wife, a soccer team, like what. It's always a sense of, we did the empath prayer, didn't we? Yes, we did. It's always a sense of envy, resentment, and as Jewish people, we have to be cognizant of, because we don't missionize, that people maybe think, well, you're an exclusive only club. And that's might cause feelings of resentment and, oh, you're chosen. Like, in plain words, there may be preconceived ideas that make a person vulnerable to feelings of anger, jealousy, like not feeling included. And it's something that when you dissect it as a Jewish person, or you look at the Torah, it's like, oh, so Abraham was this really wise person. Yaakov was this really wise person. Oh, I see what this is. you perceive of this as such. How can I change your perceptions? And so, he goes back to his brother, and his brother Esau is going to kill him. And the first thing out of his mouth is, he's like, basically says, man, am I glad to be home. I lived with Laban, man, for 14 damn years. You lived with that guy? That guy's horrible. You live with that guy from your dad. They're crazy over there. They're idol worshipers. Isn't that why Granddad had to leave those crazy hicks over in Iraq? Yes, yes. I was living with him. I was a slave. I was an indentured servant for 14 years. He didn't want to pay me back. He owed me a ton in a sheep. Really? I thought you were doing great. Hell no, man. I had to steal half these sheep. Steal them. It's my damn property. The guy's chasing me. So needless to say, and while he's doing this, he's sending gifts. Tell my brother Esau I lived with Laban. Nobody here got a free ride, kid. So immediately, by the time he arrives to Esau, Esau's like probably laughing his damn head off. Oh, man. Woo! 14 damn years a slave of those people. Well, welcome home, bro. Let's go have a beer, right? It's a completely different dynamic. And it's also, it's mentioned a lot in Eastern philosophy, this idea of benign dominance. You immediately see why the person resents you. What is the envy? What is the thing? You internalize it. Well, how would I feel if I were in there? Whether it's true or not, it could be a lie. It doesn't matter. The point is that they feel that way. And it's so deep. You look at the story of King David killing another man because, no, that's my wife. I saw her taking a bath. She was going to go be with her husband. And I thought, no, damn it, you're not supposed to be going off. He saw her running off to go be with her husband who had come back from war. It drove him crazy. What did he do? He sent her husband off to be killed because, no, you don't get to. He coveted the guy's wife, right? So again, it was a case of envy he was so consumed by, he actually drove someone to war. So it's just, I think if we can really get that these stories over and over and over again go back to that, and how can we be conscious of that and then cool it, have it be wise enough to see that and be wise enough to say, okay, how did I contribute to that? How did I contribute to, did my ego get in the way? Was I snapping? Was I trying to take over someone's space? There's another example where somebody gets angry because there's space in a conversation and they feel disrespected, right? It's one of the most common ways that people feel something has been taken from them. The space to speak, right? The space that they want to hold to be themselves, right? Is one of the most common things we often feel taken away from us. Someone that doesn't respect us, doesn't respect our space, right? These are deep concepts. All right. David was human, but man, crying to the point where he thought that the heat of shame on his face and the tears melt. He said, man, I almost melted my couch, the shame. So anger and shame, right? Anger and shame. But, had he had a friend like Yonatan or somebody come and said, hey, brother, your thinking is off. It's not your wife. You're delusional. You're having a fantasy or something, right? So, or maybe she is, but not now. Maybe something will happen naturally, in God's time, right? If it's meant to be, it'll happen in God's time, right? No, maybe that would have happened, right? But he had to push it, right? Like he had to push what he wanted in his time, right? All right, I think we're going to do the collective reading, but that was really the gift I got in my meditations, was just wow. Especially, I'm trying to read the Parsha Shavua every read. I try to read the Torah portion. I find it absolutely fascinating. This theme coming up over and over and over again of jealousy and envy evoking violence, and over and over again, repeated warnings in the Torah. How do you nip it in the bud? That's basically what the Torah says. It's a great, human nature. You see that? Don't get on a power trip. Well, yeah, I am all that in a bag of shit. No, you're going to get yourself smacked, fired. you know, be wise. And instead, oh, okay. Well, who's the person who said, I am I am a bag of chips, but I don't want, they don't need to know it. Somebody was saying that on Oprah, like how as a comedian, he thought he was really, really funny, but he always tried to laugh at people's jokes and not be like, I spent 30 years learning how to be a comedian. You're not a comedian. But that's what it is to be royal, right? That's what it is to really have the common touch. To have the common touch is to know, that you're not better than anybody else, right? And if you're lucky, and if you've got good fortune like Abraham, you open the tent to anyone who pledges peace, and you have a party, and they get to be a part of the party. You share your wealth, you share your goodness, right? And then you get more allies. Sometimes you get more converts, but not always. It's okay if they don't convert. But and that's how you expand the tent, and that was the wisdom of Abraham, right? All right, let's see what we have in the cards for everyone today. All right. We're still in the time of war. We're still in the time of war. And, I'm sorry. Hold on. I've got to cover this. My cat's fur. That's why I'm coughing. I took an Allegra. But joys of cat allergies. Sorry about that. Much better. Okay, so right now is the time of war. Okay, so what they're saying is that everything right now is strife. A lot of it's coming from Putin, some of it's coming from Iran, Qatar, fighting everywhere. Leads to heartbreak. It covers the world, right? So in plainer words, what they're saying is it has a ripple effect. It has a ripple effect. The military. So in Hebrew, gevurah is boundaries. So you have chesed, which is kindness, and you have gevurah, which is boundaries. So gevurah is the protection needed in order to give kindness. So it's when you secure the perimeter from the enemy. And so they secured the perimeter. Like Abraham secured the land, means he hired local, secure the perimeter, I'll pay you well. And so they did, and then build an oasis in the center, and anybody who wants the good life can come, And so you not only secured the area from your enemies, but you also created a second, even higher security for those people who wanted to maybe go a little further, In the end, by doing this, all hostile armies collapsed under Abraham. You start with a little area, you secure the land. I got my wife, Sarah. She got some very nice bread, some soup. You come eat something. People are wheeling and dealing. He makes a bunch of money. He says, you know what? Are you selling over there? You're selling? Okay, I'm buying. Take a little more. He gets a little bigger tent. You can stay out there in the cold, but I'm telling you, my wife, Sarah, she makes a great cholent. Next thing you know, he buys more land. He expands his tent anymore. He keeps going. He keeps going. He keeps going. Oh, you're envious? Come into you have some soup with me, right? So the point is that he had two aspects, which is gavur, boundaries, and then over that is kindness. First, you give people safety, and then you give them compassion. We have a time of power and war for the next 30 days. You guys want to talk about it? 30 more days. Intense passion. Aries, 30 days. You guys want to talk about it? People are worried that Ukraine is going to potentially we're going to stop funding it. Mm-hmm. What is above the sun is coming out for the world and for us. Victory, pulled double aces. We win the war in 30 days. Past placement. Things move. Something is setting me off. Sorry, guys. Something here is setting me off. Things are happening very quickly. Bad people being arrested. A healing is happening in the world and with us. Justice. Fool. Green economy. You know what's going to be interesting? If the Oasis, they start putting in green jobs. Let me do a clarification. So watch conflict over the next 30 days. Instead, you use the passion. I'm sorry, I'm reacting to something. I think it's because I picked up my cat and I didn't wash my hands. I apologize. Wealth. I'm going to go wash my hands because I'm sorry. I have Mila all over me. Keep just talking while I get this allergy off me. I'm just going to change my jacket because she was laying on my jacket. I love her. But sometimes, oh, that's much better. I can breathe again. It was on my jacket. Thank you. I just get some of her hairs in my nose and I just can't breathe. I love her, but I just can't breathe. Yeah, so listen, you guys. Green economy, good money. Also, financial stability and healing is coming. The world will be saved. I want to look at what Joel is saying about Putin, because don't you folks feel that given everything that's happened, given now they're talking about the private meetings, Hamas and Putin, the fact that basically Netanyahu said, oh, they're not a security risk. Clearly they were. He really thought Putin was his buddy, didn't he? You know, not much of a buddy, right? I can't imagine how the world could allow Putin to continue. The Hutu are coming in. We've talked about that. It goes back to Putin saying that he was bringing in African fighters and that he could pay for them. They wouldn't be as expensive. Unfortunately, I think it's probably part of what he was talking about. It never entered my mind he'd be attacking Israel with his African fighters. He thinks he has too much commerce with Israel to be worried. The Empress, Two of Cups, dealings, right? Mastery, and the Lovers. So Lovers has me concerned. It could also be, in a case of spying, it could be betrayal. You wouldn't want somebody who's an ally of Iran, your arch enemy, to be having this kind of security clearance, would you? Something about large sums of money over Putin, and it results in the end of his relationship with Israel. It's very, somebody is funding this, and it's, he's getting money from somewhere. You can see here, Queen of Swords over that, his former alliance, heartbreak over contracts, and death and transformation over his relationship lovers. Also, Netanyahu is out, who was the conservative. I think Benny Gantz is going to be the new person. Oh, no, it looks like Putin will likely be arrested, and they won't, it's more likely that he could actually be arrested and charged in The Hague. He could actually be arrested. Taking the swords away from the enemy. Looks like a new man potentially in power in Israel. It could be Benny Gantz, the unity person. A healing person comes. His hopes and fears. He fears the end of the war, Putin. He has heartbreak over the issue of he lost his contracts, right? He was talking about trade. Look at this. He ends up in prison. 9 of Wands. So yeah, it's very, very likely, given those cards, you guys, that Putin could literally be in The Hague. We could be seeing him in The Hague facing charges. And I don't think he's on death's door. I think that those are like fake rumors. I do think he might have a drug problem, which has me a little wigged out. Yeah, I heard Joel. Joel is talking about, you guys know the warrants are already out for Putin. So according to those cards, it's very likely that he will be arrested. Joel. Yeah. Wow. Can you believe that? Well, let's take a look at Benny Gantz. The joke is that his private account had 7 friends, 2 of them mutual, to give you an idea of how small Israel is. And he's supposed to be the unity guy. And so everybody I know is having a good chuckle about that the guy who's trying to bring Israel unity together only had 7 friends. I don't think he visits it, but it was pretty funny that, this lone voice saying, we got to come together. We got to come together. But let's take a look. Not good, right? Not good when the unity guy only has 7 friends on Facebook. We're going to get him more friends, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, how's he doing? He's heartbroken over the current situation. He feels that the relationship is very bad with allies to the point where we could be even losing foreign investment if they don't begin the like an Oasis project ASAP, because he's heartbroken. Possible contracts with others could be broken due to previous foolish behavior, could be over. So that's probably why Ganz wants something like an Oasis and people like Musk to come in. And if they can get a safe zone in Sinai, and while because it's the safest place for people away from this nightmare, right? His clarification. Also, people are warning that they won't continue to fund the war. There are threats that the war will be cut off. Cutting off funds. So basically, he is aware that he has a limited amount of time. Ganz is very aware that they have limited time in order to finish the operation and get people to safety. And since the whole model of an Oasis is that extremism collapses, because all you have to do is renounce and be willing to show that, and then you can have the good life and get resources, or do you want to continue to be in a field acting the fool of yourself, right? So it always wins. That's why Avraham Avinu implemented it. It didn't come from me. He implemented it throughout the Torah. Jacob did the same thing. You do everything in your power so that people do not envy you, because they will retaliate. And that's why the royal family is so. I was watching the cutest thing with Kate Williams. Sometimes I like to watch little shorts. And the kids had no idea who William was, and all they cared about is what's your favorite football team? And then when Kate walked up, they were like, "Who are you?" And Kate Middleton said, "Oh, I'm married to William." It was very sweet, but it's that kind of humility. It was very funny, but it was also like, yes, that's magical. Never lose the common touch and never assume you're all that in a bag of chips. And, oh, yes, Joel, I already have heard about that. And yes, absolutely. Because part of the Oasis zone is that it has a visitors section. The concept is for them to be exposed to the free world. So it does. So traditionally, they do have duty-free economies. Some have airports, etc., depending upon how much space they're able to get. But yeah, I was just so interesting that you mentioned that, Joel, the whole duty-free economy in Oasis zones, because that's in fact, I was just thinking, they're probably going to do a lot of duty-free shops when they set it up to get more foreign investing, like the perfume people and musicians and artists to raise funds, etc. They're already talking about rebuild concerts and stuff in the Oasis zones, and then the money, which again would correspond with the Torah perspective, which is people go into the good life, they agree to those customs, and the money and profits are used to expand the tent and to give more resources to more people, so that the Torah says the goodness is as vast as the stars. My children will be as vast as the stars. But it's also this idea of, how do you expand the goodness? You secure the area. You take away the crazy, right? You got to take away the crazy. But you also give some people a better life. And if you do that while securing the land, extremism collapses so quickly. Extremism is simply not viable when you have a two perimeter system and an Oasis, because why live in crap when you can go get free education, live the good life, and work to become the next senator of your country? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of Oasis zones have been on like US bases, for example, but people will go there, get their education, and then they might go from that zone to, say, Europe to get secondary education. But it's a stepping stone traditionally. And I like some of the structures I've seen, Saudi Arabia, some of the US bases, etc., because they are, in a sense, an oasis with, a second perimeter. But hopefully this oasis, they'll be a little bit more friendly and less military. And something I wrote in the initial proposal was like, why have a bunch of cops around? It's a double yeah, you can have cops around, but they should be plain clothes and they should be your next door neighbor. I mean, you've already gone through so many damn security checks in order to live there. It's going to be safer than downtown Portland. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so people traditionally, when an oasis is built, feel very safe. Why? This because security is so tight, nobody even bothers to lock the doors. I mean, and it always works. It always works. That's why it's mentioned so often in the Torah. So Elon Musk said he said yes. I sent him the project. He said I already saw this. I already said yes. So, yeah. So I just sent it over and over and over again ever since the attack, because I had been working on it, but I had been talking to you guys about it before the 7th, and because everybody was saying the same thing, but so then I kind of did this blitz where I kept harassing people and from the IDF and stuff. Did you get the coalesced data? Did you get the coalesced? Because they were looking at thousands and thousands of pages, but it was similar conclusions. So yeah. So finally the response was, we already got this like 1,000. Only 1,000 times, not 10,000 times. So I think I'm kind of bothering them. And I think I need to now I think my focus is going to be more like I already got one person pledged. If I can get more rich people to pledge, but I will start writing to certain, more people. Shia and Sunni ever make peace? Let's take a look. It's exciting, though. Would you ever go to a nightclub called the Oasis, where people from all over the world take a pledge of peace, like a nightclub like that? And so it's completely safe. I bet some of those places are going to get so damn wild. I bet the Oasis Club that they build is going to get pretty insane. They're going to have to really... Once you tell people that anything goes, and everybody agrees to that, those clubs are going to start attracting beautiful people on both sides, and that's precisely why they're created. And but I think probably the Gaza Strip is going to develop a new reputation, folks. What can I tell you? The Sunni and Shia conflict, there's a change in the conflict due to economic pressure. It's an economic decision that they will reach across the aisle. They had no choice. It had to do with the Abraham Accords. So, you know what? I'm curious. Let me do one more clarification on this, but I'm curious. I think they will make up because they have no choice. Feeling in the corner, right? 2 of Cups, new contract. Lovers, slow and steady. Powerful female leadership coming in the Middle East. That's nice to see. It was an economic decision. I'll check Iran. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Yes, that's the whole point, Water Lily. They became extremists because of the emotions of envy and jealousy. Whether real or imagined, they felt something was taken from them. For example, some of the people that were part of the attacks were employees at the kibbutzes that were attacked. And they may have been living in refugee camps or poor conditions. So when they came to work at the kibbutzes, maybe they saw the wealth and the beautiful life and thought, why don't I have this? You took this from us. You took our land, kind of a thing, right? So in the mind of the attacker, it doesn't matter if it's real or in their head, but the psychosis always has an aspect of envy, jealousy, a feeling that something was taken from them. Yeah. Future of Iran. There's a star over Iran, causing grief amongst their enemies. They fear the collapse of their government, which forces them into a new treaty. They're in war mode over the next 30 days, fearing that they'll have a high number of casualties. They will probably have to evacuate people, soldiers. War zone, next 30 days, fire. Grief, people leaving, the evacuees, causing Tower, Ten of Swords. Truce, smoother waters. I think it's going to be very aggressive over the next 30 days. And then we could see a lull after that and some kind of treaty that has an economic benefit for Iran, basically paying them not to blow us up. Making a deal, it looked almost like Iran was making a deal with Saudi Arabia not to be sanctioned in exchange for them backing off with Hezbollah. That's my prediction. That it is economically beneficial to economically beneficial to Iran to have a contract not with Israel but with Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is benefiting from the Abraham Accords. So instead of him being jealous, you got the contract that I was entitled to. You took our trade route. Jealousy, right? That was our trade route, right? The Abraham Accords. So what did Saudi Arabia do? Great. So we'll do business with you, and you'll profit from our increased economy, not by working directly with Israel, because we know you can't do that, but by having a relationship with us. Yeah. You prosper because Saudi Arabia prospered. Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Sorry about this cough today. Arabs in Tunisia, yeah, they started seeing how others lived, and it caused a rebellion in Tunisia. Elon Musk was there, and I had already given the proposal to the War Cabinet. So they already had the same thing. People were talking about Oasis, education, etc. But they got it all nicely organized, all the points that everybody was saying in 2.5 pages. Just made it easy for everybody. So when Musk saw it, he said, I will contribute to the rebuild. So I just made sure he got a copy of it, and he had. So I'm happy. Everybody's on the same page, so that's good. You can't really argue with it. It's just, it is what it is. The paper is the facts, you know. You can't even argue with it in court, even from a Jewish law perspective, because it's the Torah is aligned with the science, which is aligned with the social studies, which is so. No, and I'm sure Elon Musk ran it through his own computer systems. So there's nothing to argue. I mean, who are you going to argue with? Everybody knows what they have to do. They have to create a second security, and it's very, you know. So now it's just about if they. I think if they can get private donors, and then they're going to do like that those concerts, then the money will come in. Okay, but Elon Musk was already there, saying he wanted to be a part of the rebuild. So that was an answer to your question, Jordan. And when he got a copy, and that was why he agreed to be the first to donate. Elon working for both sides. I don't know. He said, "I love you," so it's hard for me to be angry at him right now. I mean, you know, either that or the guy has me wrapped around his finger. Either way, I don't care as long as it gets built, you know. Oh, let's look and see if Elton John's going to do it. Oh, don't you think Elton John would do the rebuild? I know he would. I told him what you guys said, too. Everyone's saying the same thing. We want to hear "Someone Saved My Life Tonight" at the concert. He got it. He got the message. I sent it to him multiple times. He's got it. "Someone Saved My Life." You want it? You got it. And then you guys wanted his encore for him to come back and do the Bitches Back. So he knows what you want, that you wanted "Someone Saved My Life Tonight," and then for the encore to be the Bitches Back. And that is his concert in Gaza. I guess because you all decided it was too damn perfect. And I can't, why play with perfection? So he always gives his fans what they want. And I'm sure when he sees that lineup, I can't imagine him arguing with you folks. I just, the Oracle discovers nothing and develops nothing and creates nothing and is nothing, really. It's just somebody passing on information from point A to point B, which is why I love being an Oracle. I love meditation because you find the most cool stuff. Like I told you guys, oh, they're building an Oasis. Oh, and then I started doing the research. And I was like, I think I'll go coalesce. So you kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And that's why remote viewing is so cool, right? Because you get to show up at the party, and then you get a cool little message from Elon Musk saying, I already saw the data, but I'm already doing it, right? It's just cool. Puff Daddy. Oh, what's going on with Puff Daddy? Holy crap, I don't know. Thank you, everyone who's donated to the World Kitchen, by the way. Much appreciated. Oh, still longer since I had that allergy thing. He's very defensive. Look at that, 7 of Wands. So a lot of people fighting. It's not looking good, Holly. His health isn't good. Meditation. I think there's truth to this. God, they're all going down. He's going to try and settle out of court. There's a lot of evidence against him for possible charges that don't involve a civil suit. You can see here he gets his wish regarding the charges or allegations, 7 of Wands. Here is evidence against him over the fighting or conflict. His issue or health, he has an addiction problem. He may have had drug, alcohol, or sex addiction. Final outcome for him is the Eight of Wands. Things will happen very quickly for him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, world concert for Gaza relief. Let's take a look. How will it do? How much money will the world peace concert? Um, how much money will they raise? It's not going to be ready by Christmas. I was hoping that, but it's not. Maybe we can do like a summer concert. I wonder if he's going to do it. Well, no, it would be great if he did it in Gaza City. Yeah, I think Elon Musk is going to fund it. I actually need to send Elon Musk the proposal for the concert. I didn't do that yet. I thank you guys for reminding me. That was the thing I forgot to do. Yeah, businessmen are coming in to do the project, and you have funding, new green economy, and here's your charity. So yeah, it receives a lot of funding, business people. Here's the new rebuild, the pioneer, and of course, green economy coming in, and of course, the philanthropist. Let's see if there's an agitation here when we do a confirmation over the Gaza concert. It's so cool, we saw it. I know it's happening. There was much sorrow that led to the concert. So they're saying there was a lot of sorrow on both sides that led to the rebuild. Concert will go to benefit both sides. That was the agreement. So there was people were upset. It's only going to Gaza. What about the 1,300 people? And so it was decided that the funds would be shared to build the communities also in Israel, that the innocent people in Israel that were affected. Both sides will be helped, and that's right. So everyone, the Israelis that lost homes, etc., they will receive money from the Gaza from the rebuild. Both sides that have been wounded by Hamas. And there's the money. And then over the money, there'll be strong legal protections over the money. Queen of Wands is protecting to make sure that the money goes to the people. These two communities that have been rebuilt will in time be partners, because the old ways are gone. The money will go to rebuild both nations, and they will stand as partners. The globe of peace, Two of Wands for Gaza and Israel. The money should go to rebuild both Israel, the victims in Israel, as well as the victims in Gaza. And that way everyone can come together. The money has to go for both. And if that is done, it'll be a great concert. It can't just be poor Gazan people. Meanwhile, 1,300 innocent Jewish people are killed, raped, etc. And so the decision by the concert people was that it would be shared equally, and that this decision goes on to be a wonderful decision with really positive, lasting consequences for both sides. Yeah. Any questions about that? Yeah, we are the world. Oh, yes, I was supposed to. Some of you guys asked me about Paul McCartney. Is he still performing? Isn't he? I know Elton John is retired, but I think he's going to come out and do the concert. Would I believe Elon Musk? Yeah, because because he's already pledged to do it. I have to get back to some other rich people. Yeah, it's amazing how accessible people are. You can do these huge lectures on benign dominance theory and lecture at the halls, but nothing gets accomplished. Or you could just write somebody a message on Facebook, coalesce all the data and say, hey, have you seen this? Oh, yeah. Oh, I already told them I was going to. It was like, really? I was like, cool. That was so easy. I think I'm like the queen of bypassing the hard. It's like, this is so much easier when you just ignore the signs. Ignore the signs and just go straight ahead. That's my philosophy. Just, you know, don't even bother to learn where the brake is. That's how an Aries drives. I'll learn about the brake later. You just keep going, going, ignore the signs. Yes, the whole Starlink thing. I don't know what that was about, but definitely Taylor Swift. Well, you know what? I mean, there are people that have really big dreams for the Oasis. There are people that want it to be the Vegas Strip. They want cars to go a mile down for people waiting to get in to see Taylor Swift at the Oasis in North Gaza. I mean, there are already those numbers. People are already doing that. So it's kind of like, that's great that that's going to happen. I think that's lovely. Biggest problem they're going to have is traffic jams. They already know that. Friday night, young Israelis lining up to get into the Oasis in North Gaza, Gazans on the Gazan side trying to get into the Gaza onto the Oasis to go to the nightclubs. It's going to be insane. So they already know, okay, this is going to be a logistical, it's going to happen, but how are we going to control for traffic? So that's probably the biggest pain in the ass is going to be. They could park the cars somewhere else and then have like a train come in and bring people to the Oasis to control for traffic and security. I think that might be a better thing to do. Trains or buses or stuff. And so you would park the cars and then people would, and then they could go into the buses and from there drive to the Oasis. That might be what they'll do. Yeah. I think buses is better rather than having a bunch of cars because I've seen that happen on a Friday night in the West Bank. Oh, I always have the best. It's like, yeah, so that might be what they do. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging. Yeah, I don't want to go bashing Elon Musk because he got back to me and said he would do it. And he's making it happen. So I'd rather just like, instead of bashing people, thank the people that are part of the rebuild and just keep getting word out and trying to, extend the tent of Abraham, as they say. So. No, not buses with bombs, Water Lily. No, we're talking about a restricted area. You go into a restricted area, you park your car in the restricted area, and then the military supplies buses for people to take them to the Oasis where they can shop, go to nightclubs, spend money. Some people live in the Oasis. The Palestinians live there. They rebuild their lives. They get an education. That's the purpose of an Oasis. All right, love and light to everybody. If you're trying to get in for a reading, check out all the information below. And I guess we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. See you next time.